All right, what's up? So today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. And what is cryptocurrency, right? I feel like still today the average person has no clue what cryptocurrency even is or why does it have value in the first place, right? I mean, you see I'm sporting it now. Ethereum, that's my favorite cryptocurrency at the current moment. So I'm going to give some examples about cryptocurrencies, which I'm going to use Ethereum, right? But I'm also going to talk about blockchaining in general. What is blockchaining? What is its purpose? What's its uses? And why is it such a big deal? All right, so what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is just a digital asset that you can use to purchase goods and services, just like money, right? But a lot of people are like, what's this crypto mess? I'm not gonna pick on anybody, but usually the older crowd, right? They're like, what is this crypto junk, right? But the thing is, all it is a digital way of making transactions. But instead of using centralized means of the transactions, we're using decentralized. Now, what's the difference, right? Centralized means there's a central authority, one person who, or one company or entity that controls the transactions going in and out. You can think about your bank, right? They can block transactions, they can refund you transactions, and they are ultimately the say when it comes to if this transaction is valid or not, right? With decentralized applications, it's totally different. There is no central authority. Now, that can be slightly bad because, if you get hacked or if someone steals your private key, then you might be shit out of luck. But so there are pros and cons. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that digital currency is the end all be all and it's the very best way of making transactions. But there are a lot of benefits that the traditional finance system does not have. Back to the value thing. When it comes to anything, when it comes to stocks, when it comes to money, when it comes to any type of currency, the value is what we give it. In the words of Ray Dalio, money is make believe. I mean, I really sit back and think about it, right? It was very interesting to me when I thought about the fact that I could literally purchase a car, right? I can have advanced technology, even a phone, right? Do all these wonderful things just because the person who created it wants to see the digits in their account go higher. That's all they want to see. They just want to see the digits that they have go higher. That is it. I don't have to give them any better technology or give them goods or services. All I have to do is give them money, right? The only reason they accept this money is because they know everyone else will accept the money. So that's just like cryptocurrency. And as it becomes more and more adopted, we're going to see the same trend. So in order to understand crypto, you have to understand a process called blockchaining. So what is blockchaining? Blockchaining is just a digital set of records. And the reason it's called blockchaining is because of the structure. Basically, each set of transactions get processed all together in a block, right? So multiple. So from Bob to Joe, Sue to Sally, Sally to Joe. They all get processed in one block. And then the chaining part comes from each set of transactions in the blocks are linked together, right? And the reason they're linked together is to make sure that each set of transactions are valid. Now, how does it do that, right? How does it link the transactions to one another? Now, that's going through a process called hashing, right? You need to understand what hashing is. So a hash is a one-way function that produces a ciphertext of a fixed length. So what does that mean? That means that, for example, if you put in the letter A until this function, it's going to produce a random set of 64 characters. If you put A, B, C, D, it's going to produce another random set of 64 characters. Now, it's not really random because it goes through this algorithm. SHA-256 is the most common one. And that is the way to verify the integrity of the data. Integrity meaning that I know that A was input into this, because if I run that same hash on that information, I should get that same output. And so that's the way to verify that the information has not changed. So for example, if you have A, B, C, D, right, that's going to produce this output. If you change it to A, B, D, C, that's going to produce this output. Totally different. If you're expecting A, B, C, D, you're going to run that 256 hashing algorithm on A, B, C, D, because you've opened the mail, and now you know that that is what the person that sent it meant to send, because it's the same as this. If someone was to intercept the information and change it to A, B, D, C, the hash would be different. So that's the way to verify that what you received is correct. So we got the hashing part down, right? Next, we need to understand, why is it called, what's the chaining part? So the reason it's chained is because every time you hash a function, you put it in the next block. So that means that the new hash of the new block contains the old hash plus the contents inside that block. So it's linked together, because if the contents of this block change, that will invalidate the contents of the new block. That makes it more secure, and basically they're chained together, and if that changes, the chain breaks. So that increases the security of the overall system. All right, now hopefully I didn't lose too many people with that, but I'm gonna stop talking about the technicals, but we're just gonna get into, we're gonna use Bitcoin for this example. And the reason why Bitcoin is so popular and it's kind of the new digital gold is because it has a fixed supply. When it comes to our money, the government can print as much money as they want to at the drop of a dime. They try their best not to, because they understand how inflation works. But when it comes to times of crisis, that option just isn't always available not to. With Bitcoin, the way the algorithm is set up, is set to produce roughly 12 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And it does this through a process called proof of work. So a miner has to basically, well, back up. Let me tell you a little bit about what a miner is. So a miner is one of the people on the nodes that's processing these transactions. And so after they verify that the data is correct, that the integrity is correct, that Sue has the right amount of money, what they have to do is solve a difficult problem. Basically, they have to brute force attack a hash to see if they could get the correct number. Now, the thing is, when it comes to these hashes, like a SHA-256, with all the current computing power today, it would take a couple trillion years, maybe way more than that actually, to actually get the correct output by random generation. So it's very secure. So we know that there's no way that these computers are going to be able to get the correct hash by randomly throwing information at it. So how does it do it? It adjusts, basically, instead of getting the entire hash, it's probably like, hey, get the first 3 digits of this hash. And now that means you've worked on it, and we're going to reward you with 12 Bitcoin. Now, why does proof of work matter? It comes down to scarcity. And if anyone was able to just produce Bitcoin at will, where's the value in that? The reason we used to use gold is because it was hard to refine and find and mine gold, right? So there was work put into creating this money. So that's the same thing for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You have to do this proof of work by basically guessing a whole bunch of times. It's not just your computer. A lot of times it's thousands of computers guessing on the same transaction. So you can create this proof of work. And once you've worked, you are rewarded with Bitcoin. All right, well, that was a mouthful. If you made it to the very end, thank you. I hope you learned something from this. I might have got a little bit too in depth with how Bitcoin works and how the cryptocurrencies work, but that's the general synopsis of the blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So I hope you liked it. Please like, subscribe, share the video, of course, and until next time.